up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be how to apply fake eyelashes. As you guys know, I wear them all the time. This is a pretty common question that I get in real life and on here. Whenever someone's complimenting my makeup, which thank you, by the way, the main question I get is, oh my gosh, how do you do fake eyelashes? I've tried and I couldn't get it to stay on. So I figured I would show you guys. And also, I thought I would run through kind of how I choose the styles that I do. A lot of beginners, I feel like, make a few mistakes as far as buying eyelashes. I know that when someone has a wedding or they're going out clubbing or something that night and, you know, they just want to look good but they've never really worn eyelashes before, people tend to just go for the style that's, you know, the longest and the fullest. So I thought I would just run through real quick how I choose my eyelashes. Obviously, I am not a lash expert by any means. This is just a few tips and tricks that I've learned since I've been wearing eyelashes. Okay, so to start off, as I was saying before, the typical style that I see people gravitating to when they're first starting out and they kind of want to go all out for an event or something is the very full, all the same length eyelashes, and some of them aren't even tapered at the end. What that means is that the actual hairs are going into a point. The only brand I can think specifically that doesn't do this is some of the Ardell ones, and I think it says Wispies or something. I'm not saying they look bad, but you will just notice, if you want to see what I'm talking about, that the individual hairs kind of are squared at the end instead of going to a natural point like an eyelash would. I think that those ones can look a little bit unnatural. I have used them from time to time, but I'm just at a point now where I just don't like that style anymore. I prefer the ones that go into a naturally tapered point. I'm not saying that anyone by any stretch of the imagination believes that my eyelashes are real when I'm wearing the fake ones, but I do like it to kind of maintain a sort of natural shape. Okay, so now I think I will actually get on to the shape of the eyelashes. So I've got two examples right here, and they're from my favorite line that I talk about all the time, the Eyelure Luxe Silk eyelashes that I get from Target. So these are my main eyelashes that I've been wearing for almost a year now. And then because, as I mentioned previously, I'm not sure, but I think they're being discontinued in this style, which absolutely breaks my heart, but I got another pair. So this is the style Emerald, and I just want to show you guys the difference between these. Okay, so to a beginner, these might not seem that different, but I do want to point out that this one, it goes in here. It is quite long in the middle and then about the same length as the middle on the ends. And I did want to point that out because a lot of people assume that they need to get the ones where it's like really, really long at the end, so it just kind of keeps going out. I find that that can kind of make you look like the Grinch / people from Whoville. I would just pay attention when you're buying these what the lengths are. I definitely suggest getting the ones that go in your inner corner, because if it's the same long length the whole way around, you're going to look like a butterfly and not in the cute way. So for this Emerald pair, the newer pair that I got, it is basically the same as far as length and the cuts. Like the ends are as long as the middle, and then it just goes in the inner corners. The main difference between these two, this is how I usually pick my eyelashes specifically for my eye shape, so this is not going to apply to everyone. But the main difference that you will probably be able to tell is that this one kind of has chunks, like it looks like it's going into points, where this one is kind of naturally fluffing itself out. Now traditionally, if you have Ariana Grande either big eyes or very big eyelids, these will work completely fine for you. This is going to be great. I just tend to go to the ones that have the points and then spaces in between, because I have hooded / deep set eyes, and what that means is that when my eyes are open and I'm looking directly at you, my lid isn't very big. And also the top part of my kind of brow bony area is hooded, so it does kind of cover my eyelid a little bit. Basically, you can't see a lot of my eyelid most of the time, unless I'm looking down, and that's it. So that's why I picked the Asha eyelashes. I also used to wear the Iconic lashes by House of Lashes. Just basically any eyelashes that are coming to points and have kind of bigger spaces in between the chunks. That's just going to make sure that my eyelid is always kind of peeping through, so it doesn't look like I've just blacked out my eyelid and I don't have one. So that's just a little tip for us hooded eye girls. Again, that doesn't apply to everyone. Most people will be okay with wearing these, which I'm actually going to put these on today for the very first time, so you'll get to see what the difference is. But if you do have smaller hooded eyes, or even if you don't, this is just going to make your eyelids look a lot more present. I don't know, I just like that look a lot, so that's why I pick these usually. And just another little tip, and again, you don't have to do what I'm saying. This is just a suggestion. This is not a jab at Eyelure or any of those brands, but this little glue thing that comes in this isn't it. If I were you, if I'm wearing eyelashes for the 50th time, for the first time, whatever, I would definitely invest in an actual eyelash glue. I just don't trust these little tiny things. I'm not saying that they don't work, but I do know that if you get teary-eyed, especially if it's your first time and you're probably going to get teary-eyed, this is not gonna hold up. I haven't found a brand yet where this is going to deal with that situation, so definitely invest in some kind of separate eyelash glue. Speaking of which, I guess we should just move on to the eyelash glue portion of this little guide. There are a lot of different brands out there. The most mainstream brand that you'll see in like any grocery stores or Ulta and all that kind of stuff is Duo. This is basically what every beginner starts off with, and that's not just because it's a beginner thing. I think this is a pretty awesome brand. I've been using this my whole eyelash life. The Duo ones have a blue one, a green one, and a pink one. One of the main questions I get is about the pink one, which is the one that kind of dries down darker, kind of black. I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys, I've never used that before. And the reason I've never used it is because the way that the glue dries down, I feel like if it dries a little bit unevenly, if you've put a little bit more on one side than the other, I just think that's gonna make the band of the eyelashes look a little wonky and actually more unnatural. This blue one right here, this is the kind of original one, and it's supposed to dry down clear, which it does. I just don't see the point in getting one that dries black. Even if you're wearing eyeliner or something, this dries clear, so you're not going to be able to see it either way. So I just don't see the point in the black one. But anybody who uses that and likes it, just comment down below, because I don't want to discourage anyone from using it. I'm just saying what I think. I just don't see the point. Okay, and the final option that's not the blue or pink one is this green one right here. I've used this one, I think, for about a year. Not recently, that's why I had to get a new one. A lot of people want to pick this because it says it's got a little brush applicator thing. That's actually the reason that I bought it in the first place. This is specifically made for sensitive skin, like this is their sensitive skin version. So it's got vitamin A, C, and E, and it is latex and formaldehyde free. So it definitely has its perks, but if you're assuming that this works the same as the original one, it doesn't. It is a completely different formula. I made that mistake the first time, so if you're getting this thinking, oh, cute brush applicator, well, it is going to be different to work with, and it did take me a second to kind of get used to that. So I'm not saying it's a bad product, but it is definitely something that you would have to get used to. If you're wearing eyelashes for the first time, then I guess it doesn't really matter. You'll just adapt to whichever one you use. So, just so I can be fair to people who have sensitive skin, or just if you want to use the regular one, I'm going to do one eye with this and then one with the original, because I have two different techniques that I use and I want to show you guys all that I can. So I'm going to be doing it with the blue one first, which is like what I usually use. That's why it's almost empty. So to put on eyelashes, all you really need is the glue. I highly suggest using tweezers. Don't use those weird like applicator helper things that come in the packet. It kind of looks like a weird semicircle on the end of its tweezers. Typically made out of plastic. I just can't get those to work. I just use regular tweezers that I use for my eyebrows. Your glue of choice, your eyelashes of choice, and you can't see it, but there's a mirror over here. And before I apply my eyelashes, I do put one thin layer of mascara on my eyelashes after I've curled them. That's just because my eyelashes are completely like dead straight to the point where they're almost going down. So I just curl them up real quick and then put my mascara on just to kind of hold it in the up direction so it kind of blends in with the eyelashes. Okay, so I'm just going to gently take this off. And see, the difference with these eyelashes as opposed to the kind of plasticky ones that you can get on Amazon and stuff is that the band, while still being thick, is very, very flexible, which is what you want. If it's too stiff and hard, it's going to be very, very difficult to not only put on, but for it to stay in place. Also, another side note, if you're new to eyelashes, even though it may feel sticky on the end, that's not going to stick to your eyes. So don't try to like put this on and then leave the house, because it is just going to fly away in the wind. Okay, so I've got this, and all I do is I make a tiny little bubble at the top, and then I run it on the edge of the eyelash. So this is actually a little bit more than I usually would have put on because I'm putting it kind of far away. But that's what you want. And then let me see if I can get closer to you guys. Okay, so while this is white and drying, you just need to let it sit for a while. Typically what I'll do is I do this before I've done my mascara, and then I quickly curl and do my mascara, and then by the time I'm finished with that, this will be kind of tacky enough to put on. I used to be impatient when I was a kid, and I would just like slam it on as soon as I put the glue on. That is going to cause you a lot more trouble than it's worth. If the glue gets in your eye is gonna start crying, and then it will never dry down or stick. I've been late to many events because of this, so trust me, just don't do it. You just need to put this on before any of it has gone clear, so as long as all of it is still kind of white, you're good. I would leave it from, depending on how much glue you've put on, I kind of put on a lot, so I could sit here for technically a minute and a half, but I'm gonna wait like a minute and then just put it on my lash line. You can blow on it too if you want, that kind of speeds it up a little bit. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that majority of these eyelashes are reusable. So once you are done with them, you can just kind of pick the glue off. I just use like the tip of my nail to do that. Okay, so I think it's ready to put on my eye now. I just like to sit it kind of on top, and then I will make the corner reach my corner, and then I'll do the inner part afterwards. I guess you'll just see. Okay, so I've got the corner stuck down, and this is when I need my tweezers. I'm just gonna make the inner corner meet. So the inner corner is stuck, and then I'm going to just make sure that the rest in the middle is touching my lid. So this is just me pushing it down because I don't wear eyeliner typically, so I want it to be as close to my natural lashes as possible. Okay, so that's one lash on, and obviously, as you've already seen, I do this with my eyes open. Never try and do this with your eye closed or like with one eye closed, because you're going to be squinty and it's just going to be really difficult to do. If this is your first time wearing eyelashes, I'm not saying it's not going to be difficult, especially if you don't wear makeup regularly. It's going to be a little bit weird for you to be kind of poking this kind of stuff in your eye. My only suggestion for that is to just practice. If you get home just before bed, just like put some eyeliner on. Try and put your lash on, like just do it for fun, for practice. The more times you do this, it's going to get easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye now, and I'm going to do it with this green sensitive one. Okay, so this one, as opposed to the other one, comes in this little hard tube. That was another attraction for me buying it in the first place. I just liked that it was not a squeezy tube. And then you can see in it, it's way more liquidy than the other one is, because the other one has latex in it, and it just comes out like a paintbrush. Now before I do this one, I do just want to mention that from what I remember of this green one, it does dry a lot quicker than the blue one does, so you do kind of have to work a little bit more quickly with it. Also, another thing with the sensitive one is it feels a lot more like heavy duty than the blue one. Like the blue one just kind of feels like stretchy rubber that you can just kind of move on and off. This green one feels like it's very like super glue, like it's very on there, it's very sticky. So this is kind of like my secret tip for using this green one, because I had the hardest time using it to begin with. I just get a tiny bit on the brush, and then what I do is I'm going to put a dot of it kind of where I think the eyelash is going to start and then kind of where I think it's going to end. So obviously being careful of my eye, I just put a dot of it there and a dot of it at the end. So I don't know if you can see that, it looks kind of blue. Okay, and I'm gonna explain the reason that I did that. It's because this glue, I feel like had well, at least in the past, it had a very hard time actually sticking to my eyelid. It just didn't want to stay for whatever reason. If I had it stuck down on this side, it would come up on this side and vice versa. So I came up with the idea of kind of creating a bond here and here for some traction so that when you do stick it down there, it's not just trying to stick to your bare skin. It's got more glue to stick to, like a drier, stickier surface. I had really great results with this. I rode roller coasters and all that kind of stuff with this, and it would not come off. That's just my little tip with the green one. Even if you're struggling with this blue one, maybe try the green one and do this because it's going to help you so much. If you have a lot of trouble with like the inner corner, like peeling up after you've done it, that could be the reason why, so I definitely suggest this. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to paint it on. It looks really weird. It comes out blue, kind of like a UV light or something. Very bizarre. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you definitely can. So it looks blue. I'm not actually sure why it looks blue, but it's this green one. And as I said, I'm gonna wait way less time for this to dry and then just try and stick it to the 2 bits of glue that I already put there. Okay, so again, I'm just going to place this with my hand. Just stick it to the original bit of glue. I get my tweezers again. And then stick it to the inner corner one that I put. And now I'm just pressing the middle so that dries to my skin. But like already this green one stuck like way quicker than the blue one did. There was no maneuvering, there was no like sliding around because it already had glue to stick to in a very small space. It just kind of attracted like a magnet. Okay, so that's both the eyelashes on. Now my final step is just to put some mascara on to blend them together, and then I'll put it on the bottom too because I don't want to have scary top lashes and then nothing on the bottom. I'm going to be using the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes. Yeah. Lashes. I got this limited edition yellow one because it was too cute and I actually really love this mascara now. Also, a quick note for when you're putting mascara on just to kind of blend the eyelashes, it's best if you're trying to use these again not to go to the end of the fake lashes, just kind of like stop where your natural eyelashes are if you can kind of tell where that is. Just because the less mascara you get on the fake lashes, the longer you're going to be able to use them before they end up looking like chunky and weird. Just a tip. And that's it, you guys. That's how I put my fake eyelashes on. Also, side note, what do you guys think of this style? It's a new one for me. It's Emeralds by Eyelure, the same ones as Asher. As far as I know, these ones aren't being discontinued. But what do you guys think? Do they look good? I kind of have bad eyesight, so I can't see myself right now. I hope they look good because these are gonna be my new ones that I'm wearing for at least the foreseeable future. Looking in the mirror, this actually does look like a very good style for beginners if you still want to look like you kind of just got eyelash extensions or something. I think this is going to be a really great option for you. It's very affordable. It's only like $7 at Target. And I can make one of these lashes or a pair of these lashes last for 3 months, maybe more. I take very good care of my eyelashes and I can't afford to be continuously buying new ones over and over again. But I definitely like to treat mine really well. And that includes things like never sleep in these because they will like go wonky on you, not putting mascara in them, and remembering to pull the glue off. I like to pull the glue off the day after I've taken them off because I usually take them off before bed. In the morning, I'll just get my nail and kind of grab at the glue and it will just come off in one big strip. But yeah, that's my tips and tricks for putting eyelashes on. If you're new, if you're experienced, I hope you learned something. This is just a few things that I've figured out throughout the years of wearing these. Eyelashes to me are a staple in my makeup routine. It's kind of like drugs. Once you start, like, no, my makeup just never looked the same without them. So beware, once you start, it's hard to stop. But also, that being said, when it becomes as easy for you as it is for me, it's really not that much trouble. It doesn't add too much time to your makeup routine, and it is definitely like stepping up your makeup game 5-10 points. So I hope you found this video educational. If you have been scared to try eyelashes, just give it a go. It's not that serious, and if you practice enough, or maybe you'll get it on the first time, it's a lot of fun. Makeup is a lot of fun, so don't take it too seriously. If you guys have any hacks or tips or anything on how you put your eyelashes on, definitely leave it down below. For others who might be having struggles putting eyelashes on, just have this as like a informational space. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a really awesome week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!